My name is Jeremy, and this is a bonus series of the Good Beer Matters podcast from the 2022 Craft Brewers Conference. Every year, the Brewers Association puts together the Craft Brewers Conference, or CBC, as a means for industry professionals to continue their education, network with peers, and improve quality and performance. I attended this year's CBC as a member of the media, and because there are plenty of beer pros that didn't make it, I want to share a few of the many exhibitors that I think you ought to know about. Some of these companies I'm already familiar with, and I personally know they're doing great things. But some I recently discovered and thought were cool enough to share with you. Either way, I hope you enjoy this highlight of CBC 2022. Oh, and by the way, I have not been compensated by any company to produce this series. I simply want to help good things get out into the world. Why? Because good beer matters, of course. Thank you for listening. Cheers.
So it's the last day, or the third day. But for you, the sixth day.
The sixth day,
the sixth
yes.
day of CBC. Everyone's happy, everyone's tired, but we're still operating. The machinery is still working. It's been a great year, this CBC 2022. Will you start off by telling us who are you and what do you do?
So my name's Roxanne Gorham, and I am the marketing manager for Probrew. I do the show. That's my job. To set up the show. So which is why on day 3 it feels like day 6. It's day 9 in my brain.
Yeah. Day 9 in your brain, literally day 6, but we've only been here 3 days.
Right.
Yeah, the math is fuzzy, but I understand what you're driving home. Thank you for being here. Tell us about Probrew. What exactly is Probrew and who's it for?
So we are a craft beer and beverage equipment manufacturer. So we make everything from brew houses to inline carbonation. We do deaeration, we do de-alcoholization, can filling, packaging.
And so NA is becoming a really big thing these days.
Big thing. So we have our alchemator that people really have a lot of interest in.
Wait, say that again.
Alchemator.
The alchemator. Sounds like a new transformer that doesn't have any weapons. It just turns beer into NA.
It does. It transforms beer.
It's a transformer.
Exactly. So
robots in disguise. Love it. Sorry, I used to be a kid.
No.
Still am. Who is all this stuff for? I mean, obviously brewers, but what size? I mean, who's your customer?
So our customer is any craft beer manufacturer. We can do large, small. We kind of stay away from the nano. We're a little bit bigger than that. But just people looking, 20 barrels. They're looking to continue to grow their market share.
So are you dealing with just craft brewers? Are you dealing with different beverages?
Everything.
Anyone and everyone. Who needs your services, you are there in their time of need. Correct.
We do everything from coffee to tea, kombucha. Hot, cold, doesn't matter. Hard seltzer is a big one lately.
So you're really operating the beverage space, and even for we're at the Craft Brewers Conference. For those craft brewers who want to expand their portfolio, expand their offerings, have some options for people who don't always want beer, you have other things to help them with that.
Right, so that's what the alchemator does. So you can take the alchemator, and it's a proprietary membrane technology. Okay. So it basically just forces the beer to through small holes that separates the alcohol and water. And so you can take that base and add flavor and carbonation, turn it into seltzer, and then you can take the concentrate on the other side and add deaerated water back to it and make an NA beer. And you can kind of control the ABV levels that way. So it's a neat product.
Wow, so you have one machine, 2 different products.
2 different products, yeah.
Wow. I haven't heard of this technology before, so I'm so glad I stopped by.
Well, yeah, great.
And so now you know about this technology too. So we've already talked about who it's for. So let's talk about the end user experience, because ultimately all this stuff is going to end up in, you and I go to a brewery and we sit down and we have a beer. That's who this is all for.
Right.
And that end experience.
Right.
How do you define a good experience before we get into how you create one?
Well, bad beer is just not good, right? Bad beer is just bad, and so we all know that. So we can control that with our equipment by carbonating faster and more precisely. So we use our inline carbonation, which is 400% faster than carb stones in a bright tank, and it's going to make it more even and consistent with every single batch that you brew, right? Everything that comes through. Plus packaging, rotary inline true counter gravity filling technology allows the DO levels to stay below 30 parts per billion. So you have consistency in every can. It extends the package shelf life, and the beer tastes better, right? And that's what we want.
So what I'm hearing, and I'm going to translate into like a laypersonese, but
okay.
we're basically, you're making it easier and faster for the brewery to deliver a good product to me, the consumer.
Right, exactly. There's an art behind brewing, but you also need the science behind brewing, and that's what makes a great beer for your customers.
So then, how do you create, or what's your ideal drinking experience, and how do you create that?
Well, my ideal drinking experience is a good beer, so I like,
beer,
you open it up and the carbonation is there, or you get a tap and you get the tap beer and it doesn't taste flat and lose that hoppy flavor. You don't taste the ingredients anymore. That to me is a bad experience.
Yeah.
But when you can get a beer and you can get all the different brews that the craft brewery has, and they all are consistently carbonated and they have great flavor, and that's what I count as a good beer, a good experience.
Awesome. So anyone out there's listening who couldn't make it to CBC, if they're looking for some solutions, or they want to play with a new transformer called the Alchemator, how can they connect with you and find out more?
www.probrew.com or contact or contact us at probrew.com. You can email us there.
Awesome.
And we'll get you to wherever you need to go.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being at the CBC and putting out all your stuff to make it faster and easier for the brewers to get me a good beer.
Oh, you bet.
Because it's purely selfish at this point.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.